Prince Harry is walking away from a charity he started nearly 20 years ago, an organization that helps young people in southern Africa. He says he simply cannot work with the chair of the charity's board.
A fresh-faced Prince Harry co-founded African HIV/AIDS charity Sebtebale in 2006. Based in Lesotho, it's since helped thousands of children and youth. Harry had established it in honor of his late mother, Princess Diana. Sebtebale means forget me not. Now he, his co-founder, and 5 trustees have broken with their chairwoman. In a statement, Harry said, "With heavy hearts, we have resigned from our roles as patrons after the relationship broke down beyond repair." In her own statement, Sebtebale's chairwoman, Dr. Sophie Chandauka, alleges abuse of power, bullying, harassment, and misogyny without identifying anyone by name, claiming people in this world use the very press they disdain to harm people who challenge their conduct. Harry's support of Sebtebale has been steadfast until this schism. He's raised nearly $15 million through polo matches and donated more than $1 million from his 2023 memoir, Spare. And Harry just visited Lesotho in October. He said the mountain kingdom, surrounded entirely by South Africa, feels like his home away from home. But with his home in California and new production venture Archwell featuring Meghan in Montecito, Harry's split with Sebtebale is the latest shift between his past and present lives.
And this charity has been at the core, really at the heart of Prince Harry's public image. The charities he spotlights have shrunk from some 16 organizations to just a few since he exited royal life. And the UK commission that regulates those charities says that it is aware of the allegations against Sebtebale and is now investigating.
If you don't know, I'm Elsie Lewis, and I am mad for Meghan. Words on the street is that Dr. Sophie Chandauka, chair of Sebtebale, the person responsible for the 2 founders, Prince Harry and Prince Sito Lesotho, resigning from the organization as well as a number of trustees. She is known for hostile takeovers of corporations. She is what we call in the corporate world a corporate raiders. So basically someone must have hired Sophie to go into Sebtebale to create this level of chaos she has created in order to dismantle the charitable organization that Prince Harry started in honor of his mother. The question is, who hired her? The question is, who she's getting paid from? The question is, with all the evidence before the public, in the public domain, that she's got a history of doing that, and she is dismantling Sebtebale as a result of the chaos she has created, who is she going to work for next? This will be the defining moment as to who was paying Sophie Chandauka to create the level of chaos she has created within Sebtebale. She is a corporate raider for hire, and it's important to figure out who hired her to do what she's doing, to basically destroy 20 years of work that Prince Harry put into that organization in honor of his mother, Princess Diana. Now, we know there are interest group institutions who does not want to see Africa benefits from anything. They want Africa to remain where Africa is. It is in their best interest, so Africa is not progressing. It is in their best interest. If Sebtebale is doing incredible work on the ground in Africa, there are interest groups, there are institutions. Their goal is to ensure that it doesn't happen. And now we need to know who hired Sophie Chandauka to create this level of hostile takeover within Sebtebale. What do you think?
With everything that's going on right now with Sebtebale and how Dr. Sophie Chandauka is refusing to, give up her position as chairman of the board, all the press now are bringing Meghan into the story by saying that, oh, do you remember in the polo match where she was so rude and she pushed her out the way and it was really awkward. What they don't ever show is the full picture, the full photo of what Meghan was trying to do. If you listen, and I've listened to the video, go in the middle. They always crop the picture, but they never show that. What Meghan wanted was for her to be in the middle of the whole picture, which I'm going to show you now. And it wasn't that easy to find. I found it in a French magazine online. Look, she's in the middle. And that's what Meghan was trying to do. But that's obviously not the narrative that anyone wants. So in this full picture, you can see that Dr. Sophie is in the middle of that picture, which is what Meghan wanted. Not because she doesn't want her to be next to her beloved husband, which she was in just the last picture I showed you. As for what's going on in Sebtebale, I'm still reading the news and still, trying to find out and waiting for more information because I'm not going to speculate on anything right now.
Clearly, I was not planning on doing a video today, but I've already gotten tons of messages about Sebtebale and the Prince Harry of it all. And this is probably going to be my only video on it because we currently just don't have a ton of information. And it is extremely telling what some royal reporters are choosing to focus on. Now, Sebtebale is a charity that was set up in 2006 by Prince Harry and Prince Siso. Apologies if I mispronounced your name. It was started to help young people in Africa. For Prince Harry, it was an extension of his mother's work during the AIDS epidemic. And news broke this week that the two princes, if you want to buy me flowers, just go ahead now, stepped down from the charity that they founded. A lot of stories are conveniently leaving out is that they did so in solidarity with other board members who also resigned. This was after a reported fallout with the current chair, who's Dr. Sophie Chandauka. But of course, this is being framed as some Prince Harry failure, as we have to continue to tell that narrative that despite 5 years not in working royal life, they are failing. But here's what really drives me bananas and what I mostly want to talk about. And it appears in the royal appointment, which I get into on Friday's newsletter. So Dr. Sophie has made accusations against the board of misogyny and racism. That's from this royal appointment. There's a all-encompassing word for that. It's misogynoir. Like seriously, after 8 years of this, you don't know what misogynoir is? Really? To be clear, these accusations have not been made against Prince Harry personally. Here's what's written. Quote, the accusations of misogyny and racism will be particularly difficult to stomach for a duke who, with his wife, has led the way in speaking out about the unconscious bias, that's in quotations, of others, including his own family. Newsflash. Someone can experience misogynoir and allegedly be not the best chairperson. One can experience misogyny and also spend allegedly hundreds of thousands of dollars on external consultants that didn't actually do anything to up fundraising, which is apparently one of the things that led to this fallout. These are not two mutually exclusive ideas, not to mention the idea that a entitled white prince is somehow the gold standard for what counts as racism and unconscious bias. Like, are you seeing the issue here? I'm not surprised by these tired lines, just like I'm not surprised about the lack of any real attempt at facing the past, creating equity in the British royal family now. People have been saying this for years now. It's not a requirement to like Meghan to understand that she experienced misogynoir. And any of these missteps, these lies, these terrible, heinous things that she purportedly did, which in 2 years of researching, I have yet to see a reason why she deserved that level of negative coverage. And God, if I hear about the 17 eyes, I will lose my mind. That's not an excuse for racism. Also, no one has to be perfect. In fact, one could be a terrible person and still experience racism. Now, the other article that I see people sharing is from People magazine, and I'm also going to caution that one. One of the writers is the same person who wrote the profile on Meghan before her show dropped. I am not claiming that there is any biasy here or that there wasn't fair reporting. But if we're gonna raise eyebrows at unnamed sources in outlets that are favorable to certain members of the British royal family, we also need to have the same standards for People magazine. They clearly have a good relationship with the Sussexes if People got the exclusive interview with Meghan before her show dropped. That piece gives more insight into what happened here, why there is a lawsuit. I think that it's a good piece to add to our overall knowledge and understanding of this situation. They're working to create a clearer picture, and I cannot remember what book this is from, but there's not both sides in any of this. There is like 27 different pieces and different perspectives that will give a clearer picture of what exactly went down here. Can't help but wonder, Carrie Bradshaw style, if some of this shock over an investigation into the charity over all of this is more just protocol and how things are done, or an actual huge scandal. Anyway, that is all I have to say. I would just advise that, keep all the information received lightly. Look at how it adds up. Look at what blanks it fills in. Look at what other information that you need. Truth is probably kind of complicated and perhaps even boring at times, because rarely is anything all good and all bad, but that doesn't sell papers. That doesn't catch the attention and sustain the attention of people today.
So my wife and I have been watching Meghan Markle's new show on Netflix, and in the very first episode she makes this pasta dish. It's a one-pot pasta that's super simple and also really creamy, but without using any cream. The trick is to cook the spaghetti in the same pan as the tomatoes, and that starchy, salty water will evaporate and turn into this creamy, rich sauce. It's got lots of fresh basil, spinach, tomato, and garlic. It is in fact very simple, and honestly I can't fault it. It was delicious. 10 out of 10, Meghan.
That's actually really good.
Meghan Markle Sussex deserves an apology, specifically from Tina Brown, former editor of Vanity Fair, and everyone who is giving her this specific feedback, because I'm pretty sure it's racist. And if it's not racist, then it's just flat out jealousy. And I'm talking to you, Tina Brown, former editor of Vanity Fair, with your little Substack. Tina Brown has a Substack and sent a disgusting newsletter out to her subscriber. But it all makes sense, and I'm going to tell you why. So Tina Brown, she sent out a newsletter that said, Meghan has come out with a show about fake perfection. She has never figured out her persona, and she masquerades as an influencer, calling her a follower and saying she's behind the curve. She made fun of the bee scene. She called it preposterous. Okay, and then she says, they made the wrong decision leaving the royal family. Okay, this is where it gets like sus. Like, okay, where's this going? Then she says, I quote, all Meghan had to do was shut up and wait. Oh, you want the woman to shut up. I said in a previous post, that's all anybody wants from Meghan is to shut up and be grateful. Tina is a 70-year-old woman who obviously is not keeping up with the times, but there's more. So she said basically they should have waited till William became king and then announced whatever, their new venture. Some people have to make money, Tina Brown. And then she makes fun of American Riviera for her not figuring out the copyright issue. I'm like, Tina Brown. British journalist. There we have it. British, outdated, 70-year-old, patriarchal royalist, right? We're going to talk fake perfection, then we need to talk about every single woman on the Food Network show. I worked for Martha Stewart. If you want to talk about fake perfection, we could talk about that. Martha had a team of 50 people crafting for her and producers like me telling her what to say. I'm not saying Martha isn't like this in real life. She is. But it takes a whole bunch of people to make shows like this. I think Tina Brown, if you're subscribing to her Substack, you should hit unsubscribe. And I think everyone who has said this, I almost think racist thing, needs to apologize to Meghan Markle. What do you think?
The baby's not going to be black. The baby's going to have black blood, but it's also going to have white blood. Okay. You can't be 7/8 white and called black. I think that's racism of the highest order.
Really? That's interesting.
Well, that's rather like Hitler's definition of a Jew. I'm sorry, if you're 1/8 Jewish, you're completely Jewish and therefore into the ovens. And I'm sorry, if you are partly black, you're partly black. You're not fully black.
That is an interesting observation to make at 8:10
It's
in the morning.
accurate as well.
Isn't it funny how we all yell we are girls, except when it comes to Meghan Markle, Meghan's success? And it's always a particular type of woman doing the hating, the one that is not looking better than she is, the one that is not married to a prince. Hate genuinely doesn't look good in anybody. Like,
did you notice that Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, is wearing Kate's crown? So it's called the Lotus Flower Tiara. It's beautiful and it's valued at £4 million. And Princess Catherine wears it a lot. But this time, it looks like Sophie had it on. I mean, it's not like they just keep these tiaras, like this lotus flower tiara, like in their closet and say, hey girl, can I borrow your tiara tonight for the state dinner? No, it's in a royal vault. And Sophie looks amazing. And some people say that Sophie was wearing it because of Princess Catherine. Sort of a little nod to her. Technically, they don't really own the lotus flower tiara. It's part of the crown jewels, owned by the crown. You think that Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, wore it well? I think she looks beautiful, as does Kate when she wears it.
First Ladies of the United States. Florence Harding, 1921 to 1923. Grace Coolidge, 1923 to 1929. Lou Hoover, 1929 to 1933. Eleanor Roosevelt, 1933 to 1945. Elizabeth Truman, 1945 to 1953. Mamie Eisenhower, 1953 to 1961. Jacqueline Kennedy, 1961 to 1963. Claudia Johnson, 1963 to 1969. Thelma Nixon, 1969 to 1974. Elizabeth Ford, 1974 to 1977. Rosalind Carter, 1977 to 1981. Nancy Reagan, 1981 to 1989. Barbara Bush, 1989 to 1993. Hillary Clinton, 1993 to 2001. Laura Bush, 2001 to 2009. Michelle Obama, 2009 to 2017. Melania Trump, 2017 to 2021. Jill Biden, 2021 to 2025. Melania Trump, 2025 to 2029.
That is a really great question. I am glad you asked. So the blackamoor jewelry and sculptures from the early modern period usually depict an African or a non-European male as a servant. Of course, we see them dressed up in gold and all of that, but essentially that was to make it look more fashionable. This is another example of a blackamoor sculpture that is done, as you can see, around their neck, what is around their neck, and how they are depicted in this sculpture. The style dates back to 17th century Italy. Yeah. Blackamoors have also been adorned on furniture and also a bridge in Sweden. See here. And as you can tell, the depiction of it is, not sure if you can see below, but on the state gold carriage of the Netherlands, there are black slaves. You can even see one, if you look closely, that is bowing and wiping a European person's feet. The King of the Netherlands has actually retired this state coach and has even issued an apology regarding the usage of it from his ancestors and just it in general. Because it is not his own property, he cannot destroy it. I'm pretty sure if he wanted to, he would though, so it is retired to never be used again. Of course, in more recent times, in 2017, we have Princess Michael of Kent, who wore this same brooch when she first met Meghan Markle, the now Duchess of Sussex. She issued an apology stating that the brooch was a gift and that she has worn it many a times before amongst the royal family. The term blackamoor or blackmoor was once a term used to describe black people in English. As you can see, they are adorned with jewels and gold and all of that, but in today's standard, they are rarely made and considered racist and highly offensive. I mean, pretty much they took a slave, put some gold on them, however, she is still working for a European. So that is its significance and why people, I would hope, do not wear them, nor buy them, honestly. However, pretty sure Princess Michael of Kin did not give hers up. I hope this answers your question, though, and thank you for the question.
Royal insiders have also come out to say that they have deemed her new clothing venture as crass and shameless. Well, what I think is shameless is Camilla the Rat a married man, let alone Prince William being allegedly stepping out on his woman multiple times, or King Charles doing the same thing. Clearly it runs in the family. I think cheating on your spouse, especially when you're in the royal family, is crass and shameless. So maybe we should start with that. And then with the fact that Kate Middleton was a lot more popular when she was missing, as opposed to right now, where she's not allowed to go to certain places without William's attention. The same man who wasn't there for her throughout her cancer plight when she was publicly announcing stuff, sitting on that bench alone in a park on a cold afternoon in London when William and his hairline were nowhere to be seen. I think this is where we should be having the conversation, not more so on Meghan Sussex's adventures and what she's trying to do, whether it's a podcast, a clothing line, or her cooking show, because at least one is trying to do things when the others are attending these public engagements, pretending to be important, pretending to obviously wear outfits that nobody's really checking for when they act like they're doing so much work, barely even going to these engagements on a monthly basis. Sorry guys, that came out of nowhere. Whoo!
Know who Harry was before he came in 2004, but we have gotten to love this person because he's here investing his energy, his passion, his love for the children, his heart.
The prince first came here to escape, but he also found among these rugged mountains a place he felt at home, and he found a cause too, and a connection with the children that echoed his mother's concerns. The Sebtebale charity the two princes founded has transformed tens of thousands of young lives blighted by AIDS and by poverty. Orphaned babies like Abuti have been given a second chance.
Each time he's here, you can see the smile and the satisfaction in him. If it wasn't for Prince Harry and Princess, so many of the children that we are supporting wouldn't be alive. That's a fact.
In return, Lesotho's children helped Harry come of age.
Morning friends, happy Thursday. Did you know that Prince William is appearing in the massively successful Netflix series, Netflix, Clarkson's Farm? But before we talk about that and why it's not a good thing, creator credit time, because we don't steal other people's work, right? That's not nice. Hats off to I Am Sage over on Twitter X. Give her a follow for setting us up with this montage and this narrative. Why is it a bad idea for William to appear on Clarkson's Farm? Even though, I've got to say it, Clarkson's Farm is a fascinating and entertaining series. It's because Jeremy Clarkson called for Meghan to be paraded round the streets of the UK naked. Yes, I'm not sure he said stoned, but I think that he was then encouraging people to throw rotten fruit and vegetables at Meghan's nakedness. And Jeremy Clarkson says a lot of things tongue-in-cheek. His personality is defined by him being controversial, but it was the wrong thing for him to say in his newspaper column. And eventually the column had to be withdrawn and he had to make, quite rightly, an apology to the public and to Meghan herself. So I Am Sage just cracked it and she's won the internet today because it's a bad look for William to be teaming up with someone that called for Meghan to be treated in that way. I don't know who advises William and Kate, but the advice they get is absolutely terrible. I mean, they can't look any worse than they do because they hardly do any work. And by the way, this didn't even make coverage in the Daily Mail yesterday, which was when this was being filmed. You know what I'm saying. Comments are open as ever, guys. Let me know what you think. Morning friends, happy Friday. For some reason TikTok has their Friday blues. There's something wrong with the TikTok green screen upload option, so instead of having it behind me, we're down to going back to the old fashioned way and discussing this story below. Oh, you can see my house in the background as well, if you're interested. This is real, not a background. What a genius move from Meghan. I mean, her partnership with Netflix is obviously going to open new doors, and whether it's clothing, homeware, or her actual bridal makeup products. I mean, the world was asking the questions, weren't they? So it's only natural that she should retail them. This stuff's going to fly off the shelves. The Meghan effect is very real. Whatever she talks about, whatever she wears, whatever she includes in her fantastic Netflix series, it all sells like there's no tomorrow. And good luck to her, because she's building, I think, $1 billion business, so her children never have to worry about the non-working UK royal family and being controlled by that non-working family when they become adults. It's great parenting, great cooperation, more of the same. As ever, comments are open. Sorry about the technology issues. Let me know what you think. Morning, friends. Happy Friday. We've still got the TikTok green screen upload problem. Sorry about that. That's my house in the background. But of course, we're talking about this story here. In modern day Britain, where inflation is off the scale and the cost of living crisis is very much still here, are the royals worth £500 million a year? Are they worth £500 million a year? And why are we giving them another 45 million on top of that this year, at the same time that we are removing £1,720 a year from the people that have the lowest level of opportunity, the lowest level of quality of life, and the lowest income in the UK? That £1,720 a year we're taking away from those people, and they are not living a rock and roll lifestyle, guys. Probably means the difference between them being able to eat properly, heat their home properly, and feed their kids properly. There's 3 million individual children growing up in poverty in the UK. 545 million for the billionaires, £1,720 taken away from the people in society that need our support the most. It's madness, isn't it? It's like something out of a science fiction comic that you throw in the bin saying, that's ridiculous, it's never going to happen. As ever, comments are open, guys. Let me know what you think, and have a brilliant Friday. Morning, friends. Happy Thursday. And did you know that the majority of the royal content in the Daily Mail online is and always has been about Meghan? And quite rightly, because Meghan is taking the world by storm. But Kate Middleton, whatever we're calling her this week, does get one mention in the top 20 headlines, and it's towards the bottom. And it's yet again another one of Kate's secret weapons, which turns out to be, wait for it, shoulder pads. William got bad advice yesterday, linking up with Jeremy Clarkson to film Clarkson's Farm. There's not much to talk about by Kate. We did say on this channel we wish her a long and happy life, but now she will be forever defined by what she wears and, of course, the cancer that she suffered last year. What is the future for Kate when Meghan's dominating the headlines through her hard work and interesting content, and Kate is appearing 19th in a list of 20? I just don't know. Comments are open as ever. Let me know what you think.
Children are now going by Sussex rather than Mountbatten Windsor.
Yes, which has become a bit of a row because critics of Harry and Meghan are saying they are just capitalising once again on their kids' titles. But there is very much precedent for this. So following the coronation, Archie and Lilibet's surnames were kind of automatically changed to Sussex in a very similar way that when William and Harry were children, their surnames were Wales, as in Harry Wales, William Wales. I think George Charles and Louis' surname is also Wales. So it's kind of following that precedent, but of course it is a bit of a challenge for Harry and Meghan because, as you say, Stephen, all of this has kind of been, it's all happening the same week where there's been lots of rows about the website and accusations of Harry and Meghan capitalising on their kids' titles. A source has told The Times this morning that it represents unification of the family because for the first time since the coronation, both Archie, Lilibet and Harry and Meghan all have the same surname, rather than some of them having Sussex and some of them having Mountbatten Windsor. So it's a proud moment, as sources told the Times, for them.
So in that sense, all this hoo-ha is a bit of a storm in a teacup over the names.
Quite possibly, and also the royal crest as well. It's been pointed out that the Duchy of Cornwall has lots of royal branding all over their biscuits they sell in Waitrose, and other supermarkets, of course, are available. And also the 800 companies that have a royal warrant, who obviously used that royal crest to make a profit. So it's all of this which is similar, but of course Harry and Meghan maintained that, of course, they're not using the word royal, which is what they agreed with Queen Elizabeth II in 2020 at that Sandringham summit.
Okay.
She and Lilibet, on their birth certificates, Mountbatten Windsor, which is the royal family surname.
Well, this is where the argument's been online today, isn't it? Because some people think that that's their surname.
Yes, so it is.
Yeah.
But since they became the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, the family can also use the Sussex title. So we have that for aristocrats in this country. You might have, let's take, say, the Duke of Marlborough. His family name is Spencer Churchill, but he might call himself Jamie Marlborough. And, you know, you're perfectly entitled to do that. So they've obviously chosen to use the Sussex name in the same way that Harry used to be known as Harry Wales when he was in the armed forces.
If William misbehaved, which is possible because those Windsor men are not renowned for their fidelity, I think that Kate would turn a blind eye. She wanted this marriage more than anything.
Hand of your teen, go to the clinic, explain to them as to why they're taking medication, the condition that they live with, because it has always been when a young person is asked, why do you take medication? And they'll be like, my caregiver said.
In this country, and also in Botswana. And we're hitting the target, not just Sebtebale, but in general, all of the partners are. And it's making a massive difference. And it is this surge of energy and optimism and voice of young people, ranging from 6 to 25. And the biggest difference, which really needs more work, the biggest difference is when people at the top start listening.
So this whole journey of Sebtebale started from that element of having experience, having come to the motherland. He's now my younger brother, Mahali, the warrior. Experiencing, breathing the same air, eating the same food as the children, the herd boys, the shepherds, that inspired this dream to come to where we are now. But I think it is that deep felt need that we want to collectively make a difference in our lifetime. But not only in our lifetimes, but leave a legacy and pass on the baton to the next generation. So that's why we are going out in all different angles and tentacles to make.
Well, it all started, Charlotte, when the chair of the charities board refused to step down after that infighting amongst trustees. Her name is Dr. Sophie Chandauka. She then came to the Charities Commission here in the UK and has reported her worries about it, and the Charities Commission now saying that it is aware of issues with governance in that charity. Now, the drama has built just in the last few minutes because Dr. Chandauka has released a statement which looks like a thinly veiled attack against Prince Harry. She says there are people in this world who behave as though they are above the law and mistreat people, and then play the victim card and use the very press they disdain to harm people who have the courage to challenge their conduct. Well, Sebtebale was set up in 2006 by Prince Harry alongside Prince Sisu of Lesotho. Its aim really to help the poorest in southern Africa, especially those living with the effects of AIDS and HIV. And it is set up very much in the image and memory of Harry's mother, Princess Diana. He and Prince Sisu have released a statement overnight. In it, they say, with heavy hearts, we've resigned from our roles as patrons of the organisation until further notice. What's transpired is unthinkable. We're in shock, they say, that we have to do this, but we have a continued responsibility to Sebtebale's beneficiaries, so we'll be sharing all of our concerns with the Charity Commission as to how this all came about. What is clear, Charlotte, I think this morning through the highs and lows of his life, Africa has been perhaps the most grounding experience for Prince Harry, and it is going to be very difficult for him to walk away from this charity that's done so much good work as all of this infighting and trouble continues.
A legendary journalist has spoken out about Meghan.
Yeah, so this is
we
great.
Still on Meghan, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry, I thought we'd moved on, but no.
No. Graydon Carter is his name, and he was for many years the executive editor of Vanity Fair, so he mixed in some pretty amazing circles and had a lot to do with a lot of big-name stars. That famous cover there, way back when we first kind of got introduced to Meghan Markle, he's talked about that story and how he didn't really know who she was, he didn't even know what Suits was, but he decided to give her the cover because other people said, this is the woman who's going to be marrying Prince Harry. Get on board now. So they did, and they gave her that cover, but she wasn't happy. Meghan wasn't happy. But that's a shock, because basically she said, I wanted the story to be much more about my philanthropic work and my charity work, and it became much more about Prince Harry. So if nothing else, not only does it show she had an ego even back then, also shows she had no news sense either, because clearly the fact that she was marrying Prince Harry was the news story.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking out for Meghan here. I'm not buying for 1 minute that the editor of Vanity Fair wouldn't know who she was, because she was dating Harry at the time. I'm not buying that. And so he uses her, puts her on the cover, and then comes out and blasts her. I don't like that.
No, I don't like it. If Kylie doesn't like it, I don't like it even more.
Do you know, come on.
Yeah, I mean, please. Really. Let's ban that guy from the show.
Robbie.
Hello, my people. Lady Rose here. How y'all doing? To all my new subscribers, you're welcome, and my returning subscribers, you all know I love you. How y'all doing, guys? I saw a bunch of new subscribers. If you are from Sussex Squad, God bless you all, guys, for supporting Harry and Meghan. Please keep them in your prayers. Right now, here we have lots of craziness going around. You know, there is this Sebtebale stuff happening on Lesotho. Okay. So we are not sure what's really happening. I'm not really sure. I tried to follow Baron's videos about it. I tried to follow Weezy's videos, Isabella Banks. I tried to listen to few squaddies about it, but I'm still kind of confused. You know, I don't like talking about anything when I do not really have good information about it and confirmation about everything, like 100%. So I'm gonna wait few more weeks or maybe a few more days, and some relevant information is gonna come out here. Some information will go pop up out here, then I'm gonna come talk about it. But for right now, I'm just posted what I found from the TikTokers and the local news channels, CBS News and those other ones. Yeah, so I'm not sure what is really going on there, but if that is sister, that black doctor lady is the one doing all this, shame on her. And if she is trading her race because of $2, I'm telling you, she ain't gonna last. You know, that foundation, whatever a non-profit was created to help the people, the orphans. And it was created in memory of Princess Diana and the Prince of Lesotho's mother as well. So y'all, I don't know what y'all guys is really thinking about all this. About this girl. I saw people floating her pictures on there, floating her pictures from the polo game with Prince Harry. I don't know if she also kind of rode the train with the haters, with that family. You know, some of those people down there are still brainwashed. You know, colonization still plays on those people's minds right now. It doesn't matter some of them how much educated they are. They're still going to trade their race. They're going to really literally sell you to a white man or to a white woman because they just want some kind of, I don't know, it's some kind of issues that I just can't explain half the times. Because if you look at some kind of leaders around the world, if you see what they do to their people in the name of these colonial people, what they did to lots of countries, they like left lots of countries in debt, and they kind of brainwashed them a certain way, and some of them people be behaving certain way. Some of those world leaders as well, and some kind of elite people, some smart people, like for instance, this girl here is a doctor, coming up with all those nonsense that everybody's running around saying about Prince Harry. Like, well, it's just disgusting. I don't even want to report on it. I do not even want to repeat it. I don't even want to think about it. So let's go to the next sharp subject that I wanted to talk about. Did y'all guys see bullying? Y'all saw bullying? Did y'all see bullying with that dude? Remember that dude? The dude that said that he wanted Meghan to go to walk on this road, on the streets of London, unclothed and have I don't want to repeat that one. Also, that is also pissing me off. But y'all know the guy I'm talking about. Every nastiest thing that dude said about Meghan. And right now, this guy's going on Netflix show with bullying. I just can't wait for him to expose that bullying's drunkenness, his alcoholism, and just expose it on camera. You know, sometimes the cameras catch good angles, you know. Just expose him out there. Something's going to happen with him. This guy, did y'all see? They just cannot sleep. They are looking for stuff to do. Meghan came out with Love Meghan with cooking show. All of a sudden, Charlie Boy turned into a reggae boy. All of a sudden, Charlie Boy turned an Afrobeat guy. He turned into Davido from Nigeria. I'm telling you, man, he turned into Bob Marley from Jamaica. What is wrong with these people? And they're not even ashamed of themselves. Look at how less they think of themselves. Here you all guys are sitting down praising those people, but they themselves do not think they are all that well, what you all guys think they are. Those people have low self-esteem, and they are intimidated by every single thing that Harry and Meghan does. And do they think by taking Sebtebale from Prince Harry that's gonna change something? Prince Harry doesn't really live in Africa no more. He's no more in Botswana, because he used to be on that place all the time. They're working on those with those people in that area there of Lesotho, when he used to be in Africa most of the times. Right now, dude is married. You know, people do quit jobs. I've seen lots of CEOs leaving their jobs. The founders of non-profit always leave and move and leave the non-profit for others to lead. I have a non-profit. When you are creating that non-profit, the state asks you, the federal government asks you, in the case of what is the term? Just basically the term is like in the case of I'm gonna remember the term. I'm gonna remember the term, but it just basically means that when you wanna leave, you wanna dissolve the company. It's called the dissolution of the company. So when you want to dissolve the company, what do you want to do with the non-profit? Most of the times you just tell me, I'm going to just give it to the state, or I'm going to give it to one of the federal government departments, or to other non-profit that also has the same 501(c)(3) status. That's most of the times what we do, right? Because I did fill out those applications myself for my non-profit. So yeah. So it's a normal. It was not meant for him to be there forever. If it wasn't meant for him to be there forever, well, he's no longer there forever. He has lots of other non-profit out here that he runs. He has lots of them. And he has his own actual foundation, okay? And that has his name, his child's name on there, okay? Yeah, even though they have different meanings, but to my head, that thing bears Prince Archie's name, the Archewell Foundation. So It's no big deal. Whatever they want to do, they want to buy all those doctors in Africa. They buy all of them. You want to buy all those board members. I don't know wherever the people come in, all those dirts and all those lies. But I just feel so sorry for them. You know, sometimes I think the Prince Harry's name and Prince of Lesotho's name were the names that were bringing all those people to bring that money there. But now that they're no longer there, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see how good that doctor is going to hold that company. But I still, like I said, I do not want to say some bad stuff about her. But girl, I'm going to come for you when that time comes. Doctor, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to talk to you when that time comes. If you really did all those stuff that you did try to pull off there and pulling our brother-in-law's name in this bullshit. So I'm going to come check on you too. I don't like my sisters being those raggedy, stupid, brainwashed and corrupt and low self-esteem race traitors because of some kind of nonsense. It's like you never really felt what really happened to our ancestors. You are like a... Let me shut up. Let me try to look for some good part of this thing here to talk about. So this bullying boy is gonna go to that show with that dude who wrote all those bunch of stuff about Meghan. So when we do tell people, we do tell the UK media, we do tell these people are racist. They hate Meghan. And that William leaked every single thing that was being said about Meghan on the thing here, on all the lies were created, and he knew how that tabloid machine works, and he knew how manipulate those stories were about Meghan, but he did not stand up for Meghan. And right now here, he just exposed himself. He exposed himself. He told you like a face to face. Guess what? I mandated that dude there to say everything that he said about Meghan. And what y'all gonna do to me? This guy's a loser, and I can't wait for your family just to start disappearing one by one, bullying one by one, just way down here. God doesn't like ugly. You think you're gonna get this power? Let's see. All those kind of stuff that God used to do good in the Bible, all of those killing kings and terrible kings, bad doing kings that God rewarded, those people were still doing some good part of something to God. But I don't know what you and your daddy do to God. You and your daddy, what y'all guys do, you just get on some other man's bed with their wives. That's what y'all do the best out here. Nothing more that y'all guys really do. I don't really know what I can say that I've seen you and your daddy do out here than just doing some other people's wives. And I believe you even doing some people's men out here. And I wonder if you even do the Rosa Humber's man, because dude, you know, I got a problem with you. Yes, I do. Yeah. So guys, it's a weekend. I'm gonna try to throw this thing here so y'all guys go chatty before y'all go down for weekend, and y'all gonna have a wonderful weekend. I'm gonna talk to y'all guys tomorrow, and I do ask you guys please share my videos, on your other platforms out there, so we could get more subscribers. Y'all did great these few days here. We got like a lot of people, and I do, like I said before, I do welcome you guys on my channel, and I appreciate you guys for supporting our future Queen of England, Princess Meghan success. Yes, and please go to all the success friendly channels. Go to my sister Isabella Banks' channel, and let's get the sister to 10,000 subscribers. You all guys have heard about the mission that she has to help Harry and Meghan with all those human right violation kind of stuff. And also go to my brother Baron on Royal Success. Let's bless my brother, get my brother to 100,000 subscribers. He does a wonderful job to keep all of us together and help all of us and promoting all of us. God bless you, my brother Baron on the Royal Success. So please share his videos as well, and let's get him that silver plate. Let's get him those 100,000 subscribers. And also let's also go to all the other success friendly channels. We are one family down here. Let's get every single little channels to 10,000 subscribers for those channels that does not have those numbers already. I love you. I'm gonna talk to you guys again tomorrow. Bye for now. Have a great weekend.